This video is brought to you by CuriosityStream. Go to curiositystream.com/polyphonic to get 30 days of membership for free. At this very moment, 2 NASA probes are soaring through space at more than 60,000 kilometers per hour. On each of these probes sits a golden record, loaded with images and data telling the story of the human race. And alongside these images sit 90 minutes of music, 27 songs taken from cultures all around the world and put on the record. For thousands of years, these songs will drift through the cosmos, a testament to human creativity. Among these songs are traditional folk tunes from across the world and masterpieces by some of the greats in all of history, Mozart, Bach, Stravinsky. But of all these songs, there's one in particular that I find eminently fascinating and painfully human. Blind Willie Johnson's "Dark Was the Night, Cold Was the Ground." Let's take a closer look. Selecting the songs that would go on the Voyager Golden Record was a complex decision. How can you sum up all of human experience into a few minutes of music? One of the astronomers tasked with making this monumental decision was Timothy Ferris. It was he that decided to launch a short instrumental piece by a poor blues man off into immortality. He said that he chose Blind Willie Johnson's song because it reflected an eternal part of the human experience. He said, "Johnson's song concerns a situation he faced many times, nightfall with no place to sleep. Since humans appeared on Earth, the shroud of night has yet to fall without touching a man or woman in the same plight." It's a reflection on some of the more painful sides of human existence, and these are sides that Johnson knew well. We don't know that many details about Blind Willie Johnson's life, but what we do know is tragic. Johnson was probably born in Texas in 1897. As a child, he started to play guitar, hoping it would help him on his path to becoming a preacher. You see, Johnson was a devoted Christian and wanted nothing more than to spread the word of his faith. This is a devotion that he kept throughout his entire life, no matter the tragedies that befell him. The first of these tragedies came when Johnson was just 7 years old. As the story has it, Willie Johnson's father had been having an affair, and when his stepmother found out, she threw lye in Johnson's face, blinding him for life. Without his sight, Johnson devoted himself to the guitar. By the time he was a teenager, Johnson was already busking in the streets. With a cup tied around his neck, he would belt out in a gravelly voice, sure to catch the attention of listeners. I know it's blood can. The songs that Johnson sang were a mixture of originals and traditionals, blues songs and old spirituals. He channeled his life experience into these songs, like on "Motherless Children Have a Hard Time." Nobody on earth can take a mother's place when mother is dead, Lord. It wasn't all biographical, though. Many of the songs that Johnson sung reflected his aspirations and his faith. They preached to any who would be his audience. You can hear this in songs like "John the Revelator" or "Jesus Make Up My Dying Bed." That man just got married. Haven't been a minute apart. The pain of Johnson's life is reflected in his raspy voice, like the archetype of the weary blues man. But even more impressive than Johnson's voice was his slide guitar technique. Using a pocket knife as a slide, Johnson managed to push slide guitar further than any had in his time. This was one of the triumphs of "Dark Was the Night, Cold Was the Ground." Blues researcher Steve Kalt explained that Johnson's greatest strengths were his timing and tonal control. Johnson would often speed up his slides as he went, and he was able to slide around 3 or 4 notes on a single hit of the string. This works wonders in "Dark Was the Night." By moving around to a number of notes on one pluck, Johnson creates a sense of otherworldliness, like the music is present, but not being played. Johnson also used his guitar to harmonize with himself. The chorus of "Lord, I Just Can't Keep From Crying" shows this off well. He creates a 3-part harmony between his own voice, the voice of the backup singer, and his guitar. And my heart full of sorrow, and my heart filled with tears. In "Dark Was the Night," the guitar pairs with the haunted vocal lines. The lack of lyrics in "Dark Was the Night" make it that much more powerful. It's not an emotion that Johnson needs to explain. It's not a sentiment tied to any language at all. It seems to come from a time or a place outside of language. It's pure human expression. And though this pain is pulled from Johnson's own experience, the story the song tells is actually biblical. Johnson took the musical structure and title of this song from an 18th century hymn called Gethsemane. That hymn tells the story of Jesus praying in the Garden of Gethsemane the night before he's crucified. But somewhere along the line, Johnson abandoned the lyrics of the song, replacing them with simple, primal moans. It captures the inexplicable pain of a man condemned to die, but also the connection to something greater, the connection to the divine, the connection to the universe around us. Johnson was probably paid the equivalent of $20 or $30 for laying his soul bare on Dark Was the Night. It was one of 30 songs he would record in his career, the standout song for most people. These songs were recorded between 1927 and 1930 and helped Johnson reach modest levels of popularity. But as the 20s ended, the US plunged into the Great Depression, and Johnson's career waned. We don't know much about the later parts of Johnson's life, but we do know that tragedy struck him once more. In 1945, Johnson's house in Beaumont, Texas, burned down, another blow in an already difficult life. With nowhere else to go, Blind Willie Johnson laid himself down on the cold, wet ground in the burned-out remains of his home. Dark was the night, and cold was the ground when Blind Willie Johnson died. He caught a chill from the cold and died of pneumonia on that ground, probably no older than 48. Blind Willie Johnson's life was short and painful, but he lives on through the music he used to preach. Those recordings became Johnson's last testament, and they grew to influence musicians who would in turn shape world history. And now, more than half a century after Blind Willie Johnson's death, his music soars through the heavens, an eternal portrayal of the painful reality and fragile beauty of human life. Blind Willie Johnson is just one small part of the incredible story of the Voyager probes. If you want to learn more about it, you should check out Space Probes on CuriosityStream. That series looks at a few of the space probes that are teaching us about the wonders of our solar system today, starting with Voyager. And once you're done with that, you can check out lots more. CuriosityStream has more than 2,400 documentary titles on all kinds of topics. It's the first subscription streaming service dedicated to helping us on our lifelong quest to learn, explore, and understand. One documentary that I can't recommend highly enough is The Jazz Loft According to W. Eugene Smith. That documentary uses an incredible archive of photos to tell the story of a legendary house in the New York jazz scene and how it helped shape music history. If you go to curiositystream.com/polyphonic and enter the code polyphonic, you can check out these fantastic documentaries at no cost to you. That code will give you your first 30 days for free, and after that, membership is just $2.99 a month. CuriosityStream is really a great platform. I've learned so much from it already, and I'm just scratching the surface of all there is, so go check it out, and remember to use my link and the coupon code polyphonic to let them know that I sent you.